Welcome back, lads, to another trade recap. We're 3 for 3. We're 3 for 3. Um, but before we get into the actual trade recap, though, I want to go over a couple of things. Firstly, I'm on a different setup. I'm on my PC now instead of my MacBook. So let me know which type of video style you prefer. If you like my older video styles better, like the quality, the way I was moving, stuff like that, or this video style. I'm more comfortable on my PC, so I'm moving a lot more smooth on TradingView, stuff like that. To tag along with that, I want to talk about feedback. If you guys have any feedback, let me know. Anything. If it's negative, if it's positive, it doesn't matter to me. I will always read. I will always look to improve. So just let me know if it has something to do with my trading style, if it has something to do with my video style or the way I look. I don't care. Just let me know. Now, one last thing before we get into the trade recap. This might be a little bit of a longer video compared to my last one, mainly because I recorded a pre-market analysis, like live type of video. So you can see me going over it live. You can see how I look at things right away. I'll also go over it here as well because I'll just go deeper into it. I was going to do a live trading type of segment, but I didn't take anything other than a paper trade, which I'll show as well. So let's get into it. All right, lads, getting into the trade recap for the day. What was I first looking at? Firstly, we have this London high here, right? Then that's the really broad type of outlook on the market. Like I said yesterday, we have the London high. We also have this 15-minute gap. Now, before we get any further, I have a live pre-market analysis that I'll post on my Twitter. So it's not replay mode. You'll see what I was saying live. And I think it'll be cool for people who think that everything is hindsight. So if you don't believe me that what I'm saying is what I was actually thinking, then go over to the Twitter. So yeah, we have the London high, and that's left on NQ. But if we go on to ES, my replay mode is a little bit further, but you can see that we have a bearish SMT on ES. The London high has been swept on ES to a move lower, right? So I was thinking, what can we do in the market that makes it really clear that we are bearish? Firstly, check high time frame. What is the high time frame narrative? Boom. We have this 4-hour bearish gap that got tapped. Bodies are literally closing below it. There cannot be anything more bearish than this. But like I said in the intro, how I said there are some emotions that I have to go over. The main thing is this. When I went over this and when I saw this, I kind of glossed over it on my live analysis and while I was looking to take a trade. I saw this 4-hour gap and I didn't think much of it. I did think that we were bearish because there are good confluences, but later in the day, it just left my mind. It left my mind that, that 4-hour gap was a rejection. Like, we are super bearish. So what do we do in market open? We have this move down. Now, I wanted closure below this 15-minute gap to prove that we are really bearish. So I was just waiting for that. And I'm pretty sure that happened pretty fast. If we continue to fast forward. So let's check the 15-minute time frame. We're still like kind of not really closed on the gap, but we had that huge move down, right? Now, what did that move down do? Well, if we look at our sell side liquidity draws, we have this sell side right here. Then we also have this one. So we have relative equal lows coming into the day, right? Now, if we go into the 1 minute chart, we made a swing low right next to our minor sell side liquidity. What do you think is going to happen when we do that? Do you believe that, okay, we're going to reverse now? If you do, then you have a little bit more experience to gain. And honestly, I was believing that, you know what, if we can have an inversion of this gap, a closure above this change in state of direction, then I'd be comfortable entering longs to London high. While the SMT, the bearish SMT was still in play. And it was like I was ignoring some things. But it cleared up over time because we can see that this gap here, I'm going to get rid of the 15-minute bearish gap. This 1 minute gap here, I'll draw it. Bodies are respecting consequent encroachment of this gap. So right away I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to wait. There's a high chance of us chopping. Now, why is that? If we look at 15 minute and we look at our previous days, right? This goes along with the market structure that I was talking about yesterday. We have a huge move up. It's a 800 point move up, right? To an 800 point move down. Do you expect today to be the biggest range day? Do you expect today to be the cleanest day after seeing that? I wouldn't, but you're always looking for the most probable things when coming into the market. So I was waiting. But the main thing that I was waiting for was the wrong thing that I should have been looking at. And that's the main thing I wanted to talk about today. I really need to lock in on what is appearing to me, right? And this doesn't only go for me. I'm talking about it for me, but it's also for everyone that's in the same shoes as me. We have this first presented gap, right? So 930 candle, 931, 932. This gap here isn't the first presented because it's 929, 930, 931. So it has to be a gap after 930. So this first presented gap was the one that I was looking at the whole time. I didn't draw any other gap except for this bearish gap to see how bodies were respecting it. I failed to see this bullish gap. Now, why is this bullish gap good? Why should we look at it? Well, with hindsight, to be completely honest, I didn't look at it. I was too zoned in on other things. This is the only bullish gap that we made after market open. If we are looking to have an inversion trade, like my model, I like inversions, right? We would be looking at the bullish gap to have an inversion, right? We wouldn't be looking at the bearish gap to have an inversion because then it would be bullish, right? That's what happened here. So I failed to see this bullish gap and the meaning of this bullish gap. So in the future, I'm going to be more locked in. Now, going further, we are just chopping. And in my live, I had a live recording just in case I took a live trade. I wanted to post it for you guys, which I didn't take a live trade. I was saying, okay, we are just waiting for time. We are going to the bottom of this gap, going to the top of this gap. So I was like, okay, we're chopping. I'm going to wait for macro time. So we just wait. And that is the best thing that you can do. Best thing you can do when market conditions are like this. When we have a big range the previous day, when we're chopping on both ES and on NQ, just wait for the right time. Because if you are a ICT trader, you have heard the saying time over price. And over time, I keep seeing that macro times will definitely help when you're in a range. When you are in a range and you don't really understand what's happening, macro times will help you so much. So let's look at what happens. So it's 9:48, 9:49. Macro starts at 9:50. What happens at 9:50? We have like a flaccid Drake candle, right? And we have the inversion to the downside. We have a clean closure. Now you might be saying, okay, but why not this one? Why not this one? The close was ugly. We didn't even close below it. So we have a clear close at a proper time. Now, in hindsight, I've seen people take this trade, which is a good trade. Time is right. Inversion looks good. We're respecting this 1 minute bullish gap. What was I looking at? I wasn't looking at that gap. I was looking at this first presented gap. So, some people took a trade here to the lows. I didn't see that, unfortunately. This was the gap I was looking at. And let's see what happens to this gap. Closure below. Now, if you enter off a closure, your entry would have been right here. And your stop, a proper stop, would be, it depends on how much you're willing to risk. I think a proper stop would be like this gap here, which ultimately, if we play, you wouldn't have gotten stopped out. But that is a lot of drawdown. Personally, if I was in this trade and like I'm not comfortable with this big of a stop loss, I was thinking about putting my stop loss here if I entered the trade. But the reason why I didn't enter the trade was the risk to reward was negative. Then ES had a SMT on their 930 lows. It's a small SMT here. So this is the 932 swing low that we had on NQ. And it was taken out by that candle there, as you can see. Then we had that retracement. So I didn't take that because ES had that SMT. So I was thinking this could be a AMD type moment. Accumulation, right? Manipulation. Then we distribute back up, right? And that's another thing that I was talking about earlier. How I failed to see the high time frame narrative. High time frame is so bearish, right? We're tapping off of the 4-hour gap. So why am I thinking that? Because even when we respected this 1 minute gap, right? Even when we have this inversion, why am I still thinking that there's a chance to flip? We haven't taken out sell side. Like there's no chance for us to flip. So that's the main reason why I said that in the intro, like I'm talking about my emotions, because I fail to see some things, and that'll just get better over time. I'm going to obviously journal, and if you guys have the same problems, then this is also for you, right? Don't fail to see what's there. Always highlight everything, okay? Even if you think that it doesn't matter, it is put there for a reason, right? So I didn't end up taking that trade. If I did, I would have gotten stopped out, to be completely honest. I didn't take that trade though, and it played out. If you heard my live trading, I said once we close beneath this gap, there is a high probability that we will take out all these lows, but I still didn't trust it because I wasn't looking at this gap, which is unfortunate. So we took out the lows. Now, I took a paper trade today. Let's look at exactly what happened after the main trade happened. We have this 4-hour gap, right? I had this marked up and my replay glitch, but yeah, so we had that 4-hour gap that I was looking again to hit and then flip to bullish, We take out all sell side, we hit the gap, we flip bullish. Again, against the high time frame narrative. Which is, again, a problem that I had. And I'll journal it. I'll make sure it won't happen again. So I was looking for longs on a 5-minute closure, but I didn't end up taking it because this was the closure of the 5-minute candle. It was not a good closure at all. If I did take it though, I would have taken it to these highs, which, if you play out, did not happen. We have this. I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna get rid of the 4-hour gap since you guys have already seen it. We have the first presented gap at 10 o'clock. I was thinking we can have a silver bullet to the to these highs against high time frame bias again. What happened? Well, we chopped around for a bit, tapped the gap, and then we hit first presented, the first presented fair value gap, which is a good draw. Now, I was still looking, because that 5-minute closure wasn't good, I was still looking for longs, right? But I'm not going to go chase into something that's not there. Even though I was thinking completely wrong, I still waited because I didn't like what was there for me. So I was watching the 5-minute. If the 5-minute closed above the first presented, I would have taken something like this to the highs right here. There's a lot of liquidity resting here. But the 5-minute did not close. We wicked CE, and then boom, we flipped. Now, I got off of my funded account at this point. Timing was like off, but I still wanted to enter something. I still wanted to see. So I remember that, okay, first presented was all we wanted. We are truly bearish for the day because if we look at the 15-minute time frame, we have one more draw. 25.025, right? That's our final draw. And what happened? Well, if we go and look at the 1-minute time frame, what I entered on paper was this trade. So let's fast forward a bit. Boom. 2-minute. Enter off of the 2-minute closure. Stops were at the top of this candle, giving it a little bit of space to wick first presented. And my target was this swing low here. Now, if we continue to play, we can see what happens. Now we go back up here, and then boom. I'm pretty upset that I didn't take this on my account, but it's just a lesson I need to learn. We go down. Now, right when we tap this 10 o'clock first presented gap, my stops are at break even. I don't want to risk the chance of us coming all the way back up after we tap the gap, because we could just be going back down and then continuing back up. So put my stops at break even. Continue. Here is when I got out of the trade. I saw this rejection and I thought, okay, you know what? I'm already up. I'm just going to get out of the trade. If I let it play, I'm pretty sure we do end up. No. So yeah, we have a big Drake candle to the upside. So I got out at a good time. The reason that I got out there was because of the rejection. Like we had a fast move down, but then a huge move up. The timing was also off. It was 10:40. So after I took off this trade, I got off the chart, and I bet, looking back at it now, we probably took out everything at 10:50, the macro time. So we're starting to trade down. 10:50 hits, chopping, and we're just gonna go lower inside of the macro. So yeah, honestly, not a bad day. Let's get out a replay and let's see what could have happened. I'll turn on my my execution so you can see that I did end up taking a paper trade. Got in here, right at the beginning of this candle. Got out at this wick. Pretty decent trade. Happy with it, but at the end of the day, pretty frustrated with how I went against the high time frame bias. So yeah, a lot of lessons to be learned. I think if you could take out one thing from this video, it should be to always remember the high time frame bias. If we're tapping off a 4-hour gap, you're bearish until you're proven wrong. If we go above consequent encroachment of that gap, you're bullish. It's easy as that. So I have a lot of journaling to do. I hope if you guys traded today, you guys stayed safe in the first couple parts of the day. I know trader rate was down. So if you got hit by unfortunate events of placing a trade and then you couldn't manage it, I feel really bad for you. But things happen. And all you gotta do is just journal it. Learn from your lessons. Obviously the trader rate thing, there's nothing you could do about it. It's unfortunate. But yeah, sorry for the long video again. I've been recording for 20 minutes. But yeah, I just felt like I had to say everything that I'm going to journal out loud so it clicks to me. And I hope no matter how good of a trader you are, you could have learned a lesson from this video. And again, one last thing, Discord in the description. You can join it. We'll always just chill, talk. It doesn't even have to be trading. It is a trading server, but it doesn't really matter. I will be posting my live pre-market bias on my Twitter if you want to go look at it so you can see what I'm looking at live. I think it'd be pretty cool to go look at it. And one last thing, for your opinions, if you guys have any opinions, if you guys have any feedback, again, I know I said it in the beginning of the video, please let me know. Please let me know if it's negative, if it's with trading, if it's with the Discord server, my Twitter, anything. Let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. I'm always looking to get better. Yeah. Anyway, lads, have a safe rest of your day.